Hi, I would like to begin this episode by thanking some nice people. People like Ricky Mori, John C. Bird, Cinder Elf, Annie Wainwright, and David Sugars. All of these are people who have gone to patreon.com/Duckfeed.tv and helped us out, kicked us a few bucks, and supported the network and the show. You can be like them by going to patreon.com/Duckfeed.tv. Thank you.
My name is Gary Butterfield.
My name is Cole Ross.
You're listening to Watch Over Fireballs. It is a Games Club podcast.
And this week on this premium episode, we are talking about State of Decay, which is a 2013 survival horror open world simulation game developed by Undead Labs and published by Microsoft Studios for the Xbox 360 and PC in 2013.
And it slaps.
It's good.
And everyone should stop sleeping on it. This is a weird classic. Like, yes, it was like an Xbox arcade game or whatever for a little while, so we all forgot about it.
Yep.
But it's legitimately very good.
Yes, this is very good. This is a this is a Gary pick.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to talk about this for a long time.
Yeah.
I just, I with my Xbox 360, I didn't play very much on it.
Mm-hmm.
It was like basically a Rock Band machine. And I played Crackdown on it. I played a couple of games, but 360 was not a big generation for me.
Yeah.
But this was an exception. I ended up playing a lot of this game and revisiting it. It's super fun.
Yeah. I remember talking about it in the green room back around the time that it first came out. It was a big surprise to get something that big and that full featured on Xbox Live Arcade. We mentioned that this is a premium episode. That means that if you're hearing this on Patreon or you're a backer, you're going to get the whole episode. If you're listening on the public feed, you're going to get the generalities. But the generalities are meaty because this is a very systems heavy game.
Yes. Yeah. So in this game, the basic premise, you play as a group of survivors trapped in rural Trumbull Valley after a zombie outbreak. And there are procedural, zombie hordes that you survive and fend off while kind of building, staffing, managing a settlement.
Yes. And going through the story and trying to escape. This is a third person open world game. Will be familiar to you if you have played Grand Theft Auto 4, stuff like that. The emphasis is on both combat, because you got to deal with those zombos somehow. And there is also a ton of exploration and scavenging.
I like how they call them zombies, and there's none of this like walkers or let's pretend not to say it.
Yeah.
Shit. Like everyone just knows the genre they're in immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Which I appreciate.
Yeah, there's no, we call them shamblies.
Yeah, we call them Chamblis. They wear velvet robes and they dip their asses in a trunk full of pudding.
And drink tons of white wine.
Yeah. So combat's a big part of this. There's no lock-on. You have weapon durability and you have character durability. Your character tires out pretty easily. You have a stamina meter.
Yep.
And characters can die and get overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Pretty easy. And there is a big survival horror element to this, both on a micro and macro level, where you're managing ammunition resources for your individual character who are on these excursions, as well as for your settlement in general.
Yes. Yeah. Resources are going to be scarce, and so is room for those resources, both in your personal inventory that you're walking around with and as a settlement. Sometimes you're going to get resources that go bad because there's nowhere to put them, and keeping that in mind.
You have to manage storage.
You do. Yeah.
It's a real quick to get out in front of it. If somebody is listening to this and they haven't played this is a pretty light base management game.
Yes.
Don't think this is Frostpunk. Like there's some harshness to it, but this isn't a super hard game.
Yeah.
And the management stuff, I would say, is firmly in the lightweight to middleweight category.
Yeah.
It's a hybrid. It's a portion of the Gestalt experience. It's not the emphasis.
Yeah. My understanding is that the management stuff takes a bit more of a front stage in State of Decay 2, which to me sounds like it owns, because the lightness of the simulation did feel a little bit limiting to me while still being engaging.
It's also State of Decay 2 is also co-op, which is a dream game to me. The idea that I could be like, okay, we need bullets and we need food, stat. We have to split up, and you could be talking to your friend over Discord.
Yeah.
Like, tensely scavenging a convenience store.
Yeah.
Or like, hey, watch my back while I do this. Like, this is really critical.
Yeah.
Those kind of situations sound incredible to me. I haven't played State of Decay 2, but I gotta.
I gotta. It's on Game Pass. It's there. Yeah, no, just being like, okay, we're here in this street, like main street drag kind of thing. We've got a pharmacy on one side of the street and a convenience store on the other. Let's split up. But if I need help, you're going to need to come and get me.
Yeah, I can call for help, and that just is amazing. Like situations that can come up.
I love it. I love it.
Feel really good.
Yeah, it feels really good here, even when you're just dealing with AI.
Yeah. It would just be better. And I'm not the simulation freak that you are, but I could also stand for the simulation to be a little heavier in this. This game is, we'll talk about it. This is more of a general roundup kind of thing, but this game casts a spell. Like it is about the illusion of a lot of things.
Yeah.
So much so that before revisiting it, like still finding it to be very fun on its own terms, in my mind, it was full of like really dynamic social stories and stuff. And that isn't really a thing.
No.
In this, it kind of is, but it's underbaked. It just kind of gives you the suggestion of such. This is one of those like Master of None.
Yeah.
So, like this is the Bard class game.
Yeah, it does. It is very persuasive that there is more here going on than there actually is.
Yeah.
And this is a long game, and it's remarkable how long that illusion lasts.
Yeah. For like a red mage or somebody, you can only cast, 6th level spells at most.
Yeah.
It lasts for a while. So obviously you die. You have a health meter. Your energy meter is a little bit more complicated. When it depletes, you get winded, so you move really slowly. You'll lose maximum energy if you stay out for too long.
Yes,
encouraging you to switch characters.
Yeah, it wants you to rotate. As far as combat goes, you're only fighting zombies. This is not one of those The Last of Us kind of things where the true enemy is man. Not you're fighting.
No, the true enemy is zombies.
Yes, the true enemy is zombies. Yeah. They're everywhere.
Yeah.
And the zombies, they're not that smart. Their tactics are predictable, but if you underestimate them, they will surround you. It is one of those things where one of them alone will be easy enough to deal with, especially if they're not aware of you. In groups, they quickly get up under you. So total situational awareness is a big deal in this, especially because zombies spawn infinitely, especially in response to loud noises. There's a bit of a like a director system going on here.
Yeah. It's I love how this simulates a horde. As an actual threat. I also think it's funny that I have killed the population of this tiny town 10 times over.
Oh my gosh.
Like they're certainly importing other small towns from farm towns to get additional zombs.
Just pulling in ringers.
Yeah, because it's just how many people are expected to live in this town that has, 30 buildings? So gunfire, explosions, loud scrounging, all these things will attract additional zombies. And this trade-off plays into the combat as well. Guns are very effective at killing zombies, but will draw more enemies in. You can get suppressors that last for a certain amount of shots.
Yes.
So there is, one of the micro genres this engages in is a survival horror kind of thing. I have 10 bullets, 5 of which can be silenced. How do I accomplish this excursion?
Yes. And what is great about this is the game is really, really encouraging you to run. Like when you get into a building, like knowing where the exits are is super important, and it's easy to keep track of because the buildings are, cookie cutter. So, okay, I'm in this kind of house, and I know that I can jump out of this window if I need to. This business will have a ladder on the back, etc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Encouraging you to run or sneak.
Yes.
And not draw that attention in the first place. Like there's a stealth system where you can sneak. You can have stealth takedowns that allow you to slowly and methodically clear things out. You can do this in conjunction with a silenced weapon. And then melee combat does not create very much noise.
Yes. Yeah, and you can see this is really helpful. I like the way that they do this. On your mini map, you can see a ring that gets bigger every time a sound is made, showing that if any enemies that you're aware of are within that ring, they're going to be hipped to you. Also shown on your radar are the hordes. Like you said, the way this mimics a herd is really good. The way that it models it. This is a bunch of zombies that are walking together, oftentimes down main roads and stuff like that. And you can even see their sight cones visible on the map, along with the the relative size of the hordes. And if they are alerted, they will charge in and make an already hairy situation, even hairier. Right. So fire a gun at the wrong time, and instead of dealing with like 3 zombies, you have 23, because they basically rolled in like a weather front.
They are procedurally generated. It's when the zombies who are being individually modeled cluster together naturally, they form into hordes. Which is really cool. I also love the game AI director tries to give you more of these. So one of the funniest things that happens, I think I mentioned this in another show, happens constantly though, is you're driving down the road really fast to get to one of the remote rural areas, and some zombies are milling about in the road, and they all gather together real quick, like they're doing a flash mob, and just become a horde in front of your eyes. Like, oh shit, we gotta. I didn't expect that. Let's get okay. Here we are.
Places.
Okay, get run over. Okay.
Ooh, that was a good one.
Yeah, it's very funny and a little artificial. And this game is, it's got a lot of little artificialities, which never, those are pluses to me.
Yes, yeah. This is jank. This is good jank.
Good jank.
Yes. In addition to regular zombies and the hordes, there are also special infected. I forget what they call them here, but they're special infected. There are ferals, which are kind of like the hunters. They're large and lanky and do big jumps. They're bloater.
They look like the Iron Maiden mascot guy.
Oh, yeah. That guy.
Yeah.
Irony.
Yeah. Freaky John. Aren't you scared, Dad, Bill? Like,
man.
Fuck off, stepdad, the monster.
There are bloaters, which will explode and leave poison gas. These are most dangerous when you're driving in a car, because it'll fill the car with gas.
It's very funny.
To drain you. So it's like, shit, I hit a bloater. I need to pull over and get out of this damn thing.
These sound familiar to anyone who listened to our Left 4 Dead episode or played Left 4 Dead. They actually did a thing where they took one of the cut special infected from Left 4 Dead and added their screamers in this.
Oh, yeah.
Who are guys without arms, who just do this sonic attack that will stun you and attract more zombies. It's like being in a place where a gun is going off constantly.
Yeah. I forgot about the screamers because they are so common.
Yeah, they show up a lot. They tend to be a part of infestations. And then juggernauts are the equivalent of tanks, except that they're big hillbillies.
Yeah.
In this, they're implied to be all from one family.
Oh yeah.
Which is real weird. It's like, it's one of those Miller boys, and like they all turn into these things, and they are appropriate emergencies. They can one shot you if you're at low health. They don't die from getting run over. They are big deals.
Yeah, they'll pick you up and throw you. It's they're effectively bosses, is what they are.
Yep.
Yeah.
There are also some minor ones like armored zombies, things like that are kind of just like not as big a deal, but they have immune to guns but vulnerable to melee.
Yeah, or immune to bladed melee as well. If they're armored. Yeah. And like it starts out as SWAT zombies, but then once the army starts rolling in, they end up being army ones as well that are stronger. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. You are not just controlling a single character in this. You start out with a character, but you tend to switch. And that is because characters become exhausted, as we mentioned, and permadeath is a thing. If a character dies, they're dead for the rest of the game. You do not, and they can die naturally. They typically do not. It's really weighted. This was a patch thing. It's really weighted against them dying in the simulation part of it once they're part of your crew. But you do end up with things like, hey, this nest of survivors is in trouble, and the game will simulate how well they fight off whatever's happening. So they can succeed at that, or they can fail at it, and you can lose a recruitable unit.
Yeah.
This is not a death knell for the game, but I imagine this game is really bad and does a lot of psychic damage to people who cannot handle something like that.
Yeah.
Like who save scum to make sure all their units survive in Fire Emblem.
Yeah. That instinct will not serve you well here. Specifically because this is also an autosave game, like,
you can't do that. I mean, you can if you do backups and, turn off your system,
right?
Like you reset your computer.
Yeah.
As soon as somebody dies, like you can, but like, what are you doing with your life?
You'll be fine. It actually doesn't take that long to train up somebody new. And if you are rolling deep, like you should, most people should be in a pretty good position to take over anyway. I mean, this goes down to like your main character can die. Marcus can die. Yeah. Quote unquote main character.
Because he's only kind of a main character.
Yeah.
Like the way the game does that and kind of expands, is very natural. Like it feels like it onboards you into the idea of managing a settlement rather than a dude.
Yes.
Marcus ended up being somebody who I didn't use for most of the game. Once I kind of made the transition and had lots of people who I could swap between. Yeah. Like he was good, but I just had a lot of options.
Yeah. And Maya's right there. Come on.
Yeah. Maya's great. There are story missions in this, but they're spaced out and there aren't very many of them.
Yeah.
They actually work on timers. So if, you do a story mission, you can't the next story mission won't pop up for a little while. They want you just to vibe in the world for a little bit, where you manage your settlement by managing its meters, searching businesses and homes and stuff in this largely abandoned town to get the materials you need.
Right. And these materials are found in these stockpiles around buildings, either outside or inside, and your character is going to have to search them. And search is tied to your wits skill. It is tied to this skill, and that determines how quickly you will root through.
Yes. Searching and opening doors. If like a door is locked, whatever, you can bash through it. You can search something really quickly, but it will make more noise.
Right.
A lot of times this actually ended up being worth it.
Yeah.
Especially the search fast. Like if you clear out an area, you can usually search it before anything bad happens.
Yes.
If you search fast.
Yeah. And also, if the zombies are already alerted and you're trying to just get an emergency scrounge in at the corners, then that is the way to do it. Like, what am I going to? Yes. Am I going to get more fucked if I'm already fucked? Yeah.
Yeah. This is already going to be a mad dash out back to the car.
Yes. Yeah. And the game.
So this is the appeal of the game. Like this is the hook.
It lives in those moments.
Yeah. Tense and emergent. The things you're out there finding are caches of materials, so like building materials, medical materials, food and stuff, ammo, and then also finding individual instances of these. Yeah. So you get weapons, both ranged and melee, ammo, recovery items for both health and stamina, and then kind of utility items, like alarm clocks and shit that you can throw to distract zombos.
Yeah. Those caches, like the stuff that will go to the settlement, those end up being heavier, and you only have one slot for those. You pick them up in a rucksack, and you're going to carry them. That changes your the stamina requirements for certain things. Running and fighting with a rucksack is a bigger deal. And like I love the way that they handle this because you do have options with what you can do. Like, if you have an emergency need, like you've got no bullets and you find an ammo cache, well, you can open it up and get some ammo from inside. But that means you're going to get less overall. And it's not going to go, it's not going to go to the settlement, which might have been the point for why you came here. And those items are going to go into your regular inventory, which is going to be very, very small.
Yeah. Yeah. And, but they're available immediately.
Yep.
That's the trade-off. You can also radio for a scavenger to come, and find the items once you've cleared out a location. This is very useful, but the scavenger is at risk.
Yeah.
So they come out, and again, it is simulated. They're going to do the best according to their stats to be stealthy and be careful, but they can get into trouble. And they come from all the way across the map, and they never bring a car.
Nope.
One of the things that is a minor pet peeve of this is how spread out the map is, and we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
But it makes scavenging like a farmhouse a horrible idea.
Yep.
Because your guy will walk across heaven and earth to go pick up this little bit of ammo, and will likely run into something.
Yeah, and you can follow them on the map, like they're there. You can follow them in the game if you want. Yeah. I mean, they're better things to do, but like it is simulated down to that level.
Yeah, and that's part of what's neat about it. It's not, just a dice roll. Whether this wins, the game actually goes through and does the combat encounter.
Yeah.
And if you want to, you can get down to weird levels of like causing distractions and stuff for them. Like there's it literally simulates down to that level. It's not perfect. It's not super elegant, but it does do that.
Yeah. So calling in scavengers is cool. Also really good because it's been a while since we played a game where you're like riding around in a car. You got vehicles. You can throw these into the trunk of a car. Obviously pickups and SUVs will have the most space, but you also have, little, Geo Metros and stuff that will have smaller trunks and run worse.
Yeah. Vehicles are really important in this. There's no fast travel and it's a big map. Vehicles are also a trade-off. This game is full of trade-offs. They're faster and it's safer than running on foot, but they make noise. One of the early tutorials is like, hey, don't bring a vehicle, just walk. I chose to outrun zombies generally. Yeah. So I almost always took a vehicle. Also, it's weirdly kind of fun to drive in this.
Yep.
It's like janky, but it still feels pretty good.
Yeah.
And vehicles are cool because they're a weapon. You can kill a lot of zombies. That horde that gathers up in front of you, you can run them all down.
Yeah.
And this does a lot of damage to your car, but it can be worth it a lot of the time. And you can repair your car, and there are unlimited cars. They do respawn. But this allows you to do some GTA stuff, like where you're like going off to get a car for your base.
Yeah.
You'll have parking spots around your base where a car will be persistent. And if you have the right facilities, it'll get repaired as well.
Yeah. So, keeping a variety of cars for different scenarios. If I'm going all the way across the map, I want the speedy one. If I know that if I'm traveling a short distance, but I'm going to be getting a lot of stuff, you take the truck, etc. It's fun. It's fun to manage that, and it's really fun to just Walter White up to a building and rescue somebody. They're fighting in an alley. And it's like, yep.
There's a weird little quirk of this where backs of cars are really sturdy. So I ended up driving backwards to a lot of places, which is real silly, but you could run over a lot of zombies backwards without damaging your car.
Yeah.
It reminded me, I got my license late. I didn't get my license until I was 25. And I was hanging out with my friends and they were, I was practicing driving. And one of my friends really insisted I needed to learn how to drive backwards for long distances.
Okay.
And my other friend who was with me was like, you don't, like, kept like assiding, like, doing little asides, being like, you don't actually have to learn how to do this. I very rarely like drive backwards for a block.
Right.
But he was just like, okay, day 2, driving backwards for long periods of time. It was really strange.
Was he training you to be a Jason Statham the transporter?
He might have been, I have no idea what was in his mind. He might have been just training me for State of Decay in the future or something, but it was very bizarre. But I did do it all the time. Like a lot of times I just drove places backwards in this. It's real silly, but it's optimal.
I'm really in the weeds on this friend of yours, because like getting confident at driving, like knowing how the car behaves, like, okay, it'll turn in the direction that I turn, so it doesn't matter if I am going, backing up. If I turn the wheel right, it will point the the back right. But like that feels encompassed in parallel parking instruction.
Yeah. Well, that's the degree to which you have to actually do it. And that's what my other friend, who was kind of making fun of my first friend, was like, I have no idea what he's talking about or why he has to do this.
He might be a drive 3R. He might be a driver 3.
I assure you he was not. I don't know. I did not have the context to ask because he was doing me a favor. It's like, let me drive his car and stuff. So I was just like, oh, cool. Yeah, whatever you say, man. Let's do it. So pretty silly.
Yeah. This also, if your instinct is to like back into a place and leave it, leave your car pointed toward a successful escape, that might get you in more trouble than just haphazardly and cinematically, I might add, backing up over a whole bunch of zombies.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
Yes,
and it feels real cool.
Yeah.
So you manage a settlement in this. You can only have one, and this is where your allies, like the people you recruit, live and work and stuff. You start off with one settlement building where you're first set up, which is kind of suboptimal. And it's kind of like a great plateau. Like there's a little tiny satellite town that you spend the beginning of the game in, and then you move to another town where you get to choose a building. Set up. There is a correct answer.
Yep, it is the trucking depot. Yeah.
Yep, trucking depot is the best one. But you can choose, there are different like kind of challenge runs or what have you, or if you just want to emphasize different things.
Yeah.
The differences between these are the number of places, number of slots rather for kind of facilities, what kind of built-ins it has, because you cannot tear down something, if it comes with something, with a storage area, that's what's in that zone. And then how many people it takes to crew and how many people it can have total.
Yes. Yeah. Those structures are a really big deal because they give you different capabilities, different perks, things like that. So like super important to place a watchtower, kind of near the place where hordes might most often be coming from. People would be up in watchtowers and use ammo to fire on any zombies who might be coming in. Again, because that is because that's simulated. But there are other ones that will add storage or places to sleep, so people don't get like overtired too easy. And then there are like medical facilities and like kitchens and stuff like that, which have pretty intuitive bonuses.
Everything has kind of a static bonus like that, and then individual verbs they can do.
Yeah.
You can go in and kind of do an individual thing. So you have a kitchen, you can spend a certain amount of your resources to throw a feast to improve morale. Like you can manage these meters, which I really like. And then I also like how putting up something like a watchtower not only affects the simulation, but you see it happen.
Yeah.
Like this game does a really good job, I think, of operating on the micro and macro at the same time.
Yes.
So you will notice a difference when you put up a watchtower in terms of your general safety rating and morale and stuff. And also when you are coming back being chased by several zombies from an excursion, that tower you had built, somebody will snipe your tail.
Yes.
And not in a horrible barfly way.
Yeah.
Not in an uncle way.
Also, like if you have secured the area around your zone, you're not going to, when you leave for a mission, open the door and immediately have a bunch of zombies just kind of waiting there to take an opportunity chomp. Yeah.
It's fun. Again, it's pretty light.
Yeah.
The way you balance this, and the number of options you have is not very optimized. Like even the trucking depot, which has the most slots, you can't build everything.
Right.
But the choice is not so, intense or critical that you're going to hurt too much.
Right.
For it. Yeah. Like I never made a library this run through. I did other stuff instead.
Yeah.
And it was fine. I did a dojo, which is very, very Dermot.
Extremely Dermot.
Yeah. It's like, in the post-apocalypse, I'm going to have a dojo. I'm going to run.
Nunchucks don't use ammo, bro.
Yeah. It's very nunchaku, don't use ammo, bro. Good t-shirt idea. It's like, yeah, can't argue with that.
Nope.
But what if they did? Can you imagine a gunchaku?
I'm
Like-
positive that's a weapon in either Devil May Cry or Bayonetta.
Yeah. Yeah, just a shotgun shell that comes out of one end of the nunchaku.
Yep.
It's the most dangerous thing I've ever done.
It goes off at random. Oh, you
You just drop in the middle of a continent, just clear the entire thing like a neutron bomb. You just pass around all the teens until the entire population is dead.
Oh my god, it is a cursed item, not because of magic, but just because of its design. You have finally outclassed the sword chucks conceived of in 8-bit theater.
The gunchaku is significantly more dangerous than sword chucks. The sword chucks are already real dangerous.
Yep.
So you have these four kind of macro resources for your settlements: food, medicine, ammo, construction materials, and then fuel. There's
fuel.
5.
Yeah.
Fuel is a real weird one.
Mm-hmm.
It was meant to be originally, it was going to be used for vehicles.
Yeah.
They patched that out, so it's just used to make Molotov cocktails.
Mm-hmm.
Basically.
Yeah.
In your workshop, so it ends up being the resource you can sleep on.
Yeah. This is
The dump stack.
my throw-in gas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just decided to make cars just work. They're all electric and solar powered.
Yep.
It's great. You also have this inventory stockpile, which is set up as a mini fridge, which I love. Basically, no matter what, like when you're pulling a ARG out of it
Mm-hmm.
and stuff, it's still from the mini fridge. Each settlement or enclave has one of these, and you spend this currency called influence, which you gain by depositing items in their mini fridge and completing missions, and you spend it by pulling things from it.
Yes.
You can also spend it doing those individual verbs for an aspect of your settlement, like throwing a feast, or by calling in favors on the radio.
Yeah.
Through advancing certain story missions, you are able to get these little perks you can call in.
Yeah. So like you will befriend a construction expert, and you can just radio him and spend a certain amount of influence to automatically finish a building that might be in the progress of being built.
Yeah, make it much faster.
Yeah.
This part, building things and building these little structures are done in a kind of real time.
Yeah. No, it's exactly real time. If it says 15 minutes.
Yeah, this is
yeah.
So it'll be like this takes 20 minutes. It will take 20 actual minutes.
Yeah.
To do this. A good thing to do is set up a bunch of construction projects before you're done playing for a session.
Mm-hmm.
They'll be ready when you're back.
Yeah.
You need somebody to actually make the thing.
Yes. You need somebody to make the thing. You need somebody to man the man the station or man the outpost. Things like that. You get, your population is a big deal. Like before you go to the truck depot, you need to make sure that you have at least 12 people who can work it. And then you're going to want bonus folks, both for, what's a more tactful way of saying shrinkage? Attrition.
Yeah. Attrition.
Yeah.
Oopsies.
Yeah. we gotta build in a whoopsie buffer.
Yeah, there's a whoopsie. You got a bumper bowl with stuff because you're going to lose some people through story missions and just naturally.
Bumper Bill.
You want to have Bumper Bill and Bumper Bobby and Bumper Roberta, just hanging out.
Yes. Yeah. And you're going to get these through the story. And also you can get real friendly with neighboring enclaves and ultimately recruit them to move over to your settlement if you would like to.
Yeah. Each character has a different relationship meter, kind of with your settlement.
Yes.
It initially seems like it's with Marcus, but it's not. It's just kind of with you, the player.
Mm-hmm.
One for deciding if they join, and another friendship meter, which is if you can control them. You have to be friends.
Yes.
And then you literally walk up to them and say like, "Hey, I'm beat. Can you take over for a little bit?"
Mm-hmm.
And you switch control over to them.
Yeah. Or you can switch in the menu. It doesn't require you to find that person physically, which is nice. So those meters are in addition to the attitude, which is modified, or which is modeled. Feels a little bit like The Sims, like they get moodlets, which are affected by mostly things that they do outside of the settlement. Although I think it can be influenced by like, hey, everybody's hungry as well. But like if they have
it certainly is. It's your general management. So if you things can just happen during the simulation portion of it.
Yeah.
And then depending on your meters, so like for example, if your safety meter is low, there's literally an oopsie. Like there's an event that comes up like it just went off. I don't know what happened. Somebody else. Yeah. And that affects morale and can injure somebody.
Yeah. Yeah.
Obviously. And then that person could then, have lower morale or be afraid.
Yes.
Or what have you.
Yeah.
And gain this negative moodlet. Sometimes you get a warning about these and you can head them off.
Right. And you want to do that because if they are angry or if they are, depressed, they're going to start bumming everybody out around them. And your base's overall morale kind of governs everybody's effectiveness. It kind of puts a spin on the regular stats and stuff. You can solve this either by managing the attitude proactively. Like take this person out on missions or play as them for a little bit and give them some wins, things like that. If it totally gutters out and they fall into like the really bad moodlet, you get morale missions to kind of get them out of their funk. It is very funny because it's like, hey, come walk with me. And then you go to a near you go to a nearby place. Yep.
It's so funny. Like this is one of the systems I think is really underdeveloped in this that in my mind was huge, but you're just like, hey, you've been sleeping all right. Some people have been having trouble sleeping. Let's go kill zombies the old fashioned way. and then it ends with either like, hey, I'm worried about you. That was really good. I couldn't have done this without you. Or listen, I'm going to treat you like an enemy if you act like an enemy. Like it either ends with a, like, I will, bar of soap you in the night threat, or ends with like, hey, you're all right.
Yeah.
And they both equally fix morale.
Blanket party for Bumper Bill.
Bumper Bill got blanket partied by Marcus in the library. And the both of it just, there's not enough verbs for it, so it ends up being very repetitive.
Yeah.
They 100% should have had other things you could do for this, but it's fine. It's all it helps at the base. You can usually multitask when you're doing this. You can also pick up some resources.
Yeah,
and it helps that these situations are fun. Like I think that the melee combat in this game is pretty fun.
It is.
So
yeah. Characters have skills as well. There are a certain number of them, melee combat, range combat, their athleticism, their wits, things like that. And you get better at them by using them. And it makes a big difference. If you take somebody out who has no range combat ability, reloading will take a realistic amount of time as they fumble with a clip. Because reloading is actually a pretty complicated thing to do.
Yeah. If somebody told me to reload something, I don't know. I don't know how this works.
Yeah.
I only see movies.
No, it's just like it's one of those things. The first few times I went to the range, like I would spend the time while my brother was shooting, just sitting there practicing reloading. What
psychopath shit? You Full Metal jacketing like Kubrick stare and just practicing reloading.
No, we only have
that's bleak.
We only had one lane. What am I gonna do? Watch him shoot and say, "Oh, you shot real good."
Yeah,
each shot.
Like that's how activities work.
No,
what is the point of going together if you're not doing that?
But then it pulls back. It pulls back the targets, and then you look and say, "Oh, good grouping there. Now it's my turn."
Look, I am the angel of death. Mercy will come for some as you slowly reload a gun over and over and over.
What I'm saying, Gary, is it's a skill, and you want to know how to do it right, so you don't blow your fucking hand off.
Yeah. That's true. I don't want to blow my hand off. It just went off. These also will give you special moves and stuff. And there's actually kind of a skill tree. So there's like the powerhouse skill, which is the melee one. Once you get that up to a certain level, you choose between a couple different perks.
Yeah.
This is also pretty limited, but it's still cool. And some of these are very powerful.
Yeah.
There's also traits that you have that are set in stone. Basically, you can get a couple from story events, but they're things like leadership.
Yeah.
That give different perks, and these are kind of aspects that a person has out of the box.
Yeah. Largely, most of these govern how quickly skills will develop. But broadly, there's some that also change, like how quickly they get they get exhausted. Things like that. Like somebody with asthma is not going to have very good running abilities. Things like that, or they're going to be starting at a disadvantage. Right.
Yes.
The exhaustion system is going to force you to rotate through your crew. And you're going to be picking based on who is healthiest and recharged, and also like what skills do they have? Am I going into a difficult part of the map? Am I going to be doing a lot of running or a lot of fighting here? That will affect who you pick, and so you want to have a pretty diverse crew ready to go.
Yes, you can also build a kind of party as well. Almost, you can ask somebody to come with you. It costs it's a pretty big ask.
Yeah,
costs a lot of influence, but you can have somebody just literally watch your back as well. One of the other things you're doing in addition to settlement is building outpost. This is something where you need a lot of population for this, and outposts are areas that do a couple different things. One, they set up safe zones. So this stops zombies from spawning in. They still wander in, but they can't spawn in. You want to surround your base with these generally, and that you can arm them with traps that will stop hordes.
Yeah.
From getting there. So this basically, helps protect your base and increases your safety and such. There's some Byzantine rules about what it has when you take it over.
Right.
So if it has a food stockpile when you take it over, it will continue to generate food. Like it's real weird. Like I either take this, like all these hamburger buns back home, or I leave them here and it buds off into a hamburger bun once a day.
Yep. And not sure. Maybe that's like modeling the fact that like this has facilities to make food. I'm not sure. I mean, because a lot of these are businesses where you can set these up.
Yes.
I had an empire of fast food chains, convenience stores, gun shops, stuff like that.
Yeah. Veterinary offices. The gun shops are great because they all are based. They have a second floor. So they have like a shooting platform basically built in.
Yeah.
If you end up having to stop by, you can also resupply.
Yeah.
At these, and they share inventory like Resident Evil.
Yeah.
So you can pop by and resupply on your way. So it's kind of again, just you're always making interesting tactical choices. Do you want to set up a perimeter around your base for safety, or do you want to set? There's no fast travel. Do you want to set up a bunch of different supply depots around to make further excursions easier?
Yeah. And you're making this choice under constraint of your population, right? You're not going to be able to build, you can build an outpost, but it's not going to be manned and it might fall, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
There are towers in this Ubisoft Nightmare towers. They're these survey points.
Yep.
Where you can scope out your surroundings. It's relatively painless. This allows you to identify useful buildings, vehicles, hordes, and special infected, and they are added to your map. Here, sometimes you will get an emergent mission to scout.
Yeah.
And these are kind of there's only so many of these, and they do because special infected and hordes move around. You can do these multiple times. Like I kept getting a mission to scout the tower that was by my base. And it was easy XP. Like I went and did it just real quick, like easy influence points rather.
Yeah.
But it was also just like, I've already seen all these buildings. This is just to check out the new hordes.
Yeah. Because one of them might be headed toward your base, and there is an emergent mission to, to pop those bad boys. And like, there's a status modifier that you can get. Like people will be really afraid if there are tons of hordes around,
Yes.
So you would benefit from going and using some resources to clean those up.
Yeah. Or infestations.
Yeah.
which are when a big group of zombies takes over a place. It's kind of like just a stationary horde with one special infected.
Yes.
Or one or more special infected. So
Mm-hmm.
they kind of become ringleaders and take over. You know, we can go to the Arby's or we can go to the bad Arby's.
Yep.
And the bad Arby's is full of, like, has 2 screamers and then a bunch of dudes.
That's what they have instead of the order board for the drive-through.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll take 2 sliders and a Jamocha shake.
Yep. Jamocha. Yeah. There's a day-night cycle in this, and it's long, which I like.
Yeah.
Each rotation is 2 hours of real time.
Yeah.
That's real good. I've started becoming very not frustrated, but I always notice when a day-night cycle is like 15 minutes.
Yep.
You know, it's really like nightmarish.
I get I get wrapped around the axle of like picturing how quickly this is spinning in relation to how quickly the planet's spinning. You know, like what are the astrophysics involved in the 15-minute day-night cycle?
The circadian rhythms of an entire world just being like absolutely destroyed. You know, the circadian stutter like that you have. What this means, and when you turn the game off, the game goes into something, the simulation.
Yeah,
is what it's called. So this used to be way worse when I first played this game. The way it works now is really interesting. It simulates with accuracy, like what would happen.
Yeah.
You know, so for a while it's off, it does, these encounters happen and stuff. But as time passes in the simulation, it has less impact. At about 3 days of being turned off, the simulation cannot really impact anything.
Yeah, that's good.
And it can't kill guys who are in your settlement. It used to be able to.
Yeah.
So you used to be able to play it, turn it off for 2 days, and come back and have half your population gone. And that sucks. That ends up being like Animal Crossing, like I have to tend these weeds.
Yeah.
In real life shit, which I never like. Here, you know, strangers you haven't met yet can die. It can suck. Like you can lose a lot of food. You can have a lot of accidents happen if you leave your garden in a shitty state. But as if you turn the game off for a week and come back to it the next week, it's not like a week's worth of damage is done.
Yeah.
Like a day or two's worth of damage can happen and then it chills out.
And this is a big driver of kind of like always having something for you to do as well. You know, you'll sign back on and you'll get a report saying like, all right, so you need to go and like handle these before they become bigger problems.
Yeah. So there are missions in this game. There are not very many.
Nope.
The story stuff does not happen.
Nope.
In this, I think there's like 10 story missions.
Something. I mean, there are more, but some of the missions, especially mission chains, like what is called a mission is driving to a place. That will be the mission. Then a new one will start, which is do whatever's there, and then a new one will start, which is go back home.
Yeah, and sometimes not even do whatever's there. Sometimes just go there and hear something.
Yeah,
like talk to somebody. You know, it's not the lion's share of the game. Most of the game is the emergent gameplay and simulation and settlement stuff.
Yes.
When the game is doing story stuff, it is not nearly as strong. There are a couple of swerves I appreciate in this. I like how the judge turns out to be a real non-thing.
Yeah.
That's something I like. I think is a kind of a neat subversion, but there's not a whole lot to this.
Right.
There are not story missions generally have no time limit, even though you can fuck some stuff up. I lost my best friend and never recruited the doctor.
Oh yeah, cool.
In this world, yeah.
Oops.
Just because I was doing side stuff. But generally, you don't have a time limit. Procedurally generated missions have time limits where, like, if a settlement needs help, if you don't help them, the game will roll the dice and see if they can make it.
Yes. Yeah. We should talk about Lily, because I think this might be a thing that stresses, this might be an element in the game that stresses a lot of people out when they play. There you have mission control. It is this woman named Lily, who will be radioing you to let you know about new missions, letting you know, like, hey, these people need help, etc. Where it starts getting iffy is the fact that the reminders keep coming no matter what you are doing, and you really need to learn how to live with her and the way that information is presented and really getting a grasp of what is urgent and what isn't, despite what Lily says, in order to make proper decisions about what you need to do, because if you give in, this can be stressful and overwhelming.
The idea here, I think, is that they're trying to simulate this post-apocalypse where you don't have time to do it all.
Right.
You know, like you are having to make these choices. Because only some of the choices actually have consequences for letting them go, it falls pretty flat. Mm-hmm. And it falls flat because you have other people on your team who are going to go do stuff, right? Like, it's like they each have their own Lily that you don't know about. Like, every once in a while, it'll be like, hey, this person was scavenging. They need help. I'm like, who told them to fucking scavenge?
Well, I mean, and those ones, it's you.
No, I would not scavenge. Somebody is,
yeah, right.
Clearing something out.
Yeah.
They go off and go do their own thing.
Yeah.
There's no way to assign people to do stuff that Lily's telling you to do.
That is one of the hugest limiting factors of the simulation, actually. Yeah.
Yep. I hope that's something they change in 2. I haven't done a lot of reading or anything on 2, but that would make be a big improvement.
Yeah.
Because I have access to this whole community, but I'm only one person. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of, I just got told to drive across the map and then told to do 2 other things. And like, what is the point of this collectivism? Like, why do I have this crew?
Right.
If I can't, utilize them.
Yeah.
It's to your point, like once you understand what you can ignore and what you can't, it's fine. Mm-hmm. Like it's less of a big deal than it seems like it, but it's real annoying at first.
Yeah. It's part of building that illusion too. Like it will make you feel like you're in a worse position than you actually are a lot of the time.
Yeah. Yep. It's a bummer.
Yeah.
So
we talked about, the game taking place in real time. A real problem that I ran into, especially covering this for the show, where, I want to make sure I see as much stuff as possible, is that I did leave main story missions for later, uncertain about, if advancing them, would lock me out of stuff. So like, if this is available now, I need to do it now. If it's a side thing, I had to do it. This is actually a bad idea, because missions do not proceed one after the other. The next one isn't unlocked when you finish, the one that's currently available. Instead, you will often complete a mission and then have to wait several in-game days for it to become available. And if you are playing this, going and keeping all of the plates spinning, then that time passing will not necessarily be an issue. If you get to the point where you are just doing the main quest line, you will either need to wait a tremendous amount of time in between quests for the next one to come up. It'll feel like the game is bugged, actually, just because you're not getting the thing you need. And ultimately what I ended up doing was going offline, going in and manipulating my clock, manipulating the time zone specifically to jump ahead a few hours of real time, quote unquote, in my Xbox to make it simulate the time passing, the time that I needed passing to get the next mission to show up.
Yeah. I didn't run into it this time because I started this really early. Mm-hmm. I was like very ahead on work, and just because it sounded good. So I beat this like a month ago,
right.
So it's not super fresh, but I started playing, I think in December. Mm-hmm. I was just like, ooh, State of Decay.
Yeah.
Gary like, but I could definitely see that being a thing.
Yes.
The intended use case is you poke at it, every other day or, for a little bit each day. Mm-hmm. And that stuff kind of works itself out in the wash.
Yeah.
And I feel like that kind of play made more sense, not just for us, but in a general sense in 2013.
Yeah.
Like there were like, what else were you going to play on your Xbox Live? Radiskull?
Right.
Or like not Radiskull, whatever that skull game is. I played. There were like, there's some stuff on that thing. I'm going to boot up Fat Princess.
That was PlayStation Network.
Oh, okay. Nerd. It was a game for nerds that is also kind of problematic.
Yeah.
Just a fat joke of the game.
Mm-hmm.
But anywho, this is a bummer. The thing, I can see this being a bummer, even though it is play style dependent. What's not play style dependent is how big the map is.
Yep.
again, on one end, I kind of like the idea of this,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like it's a big rural space and you don't see these. Like this looks like Shabana, Illinois. Like
It
this
does.
looks like towns I've been in
Mm-hmm.
so much. Like I'm sure you have the same feeling. Like you relate
Oh yeah, no,
to
I
this
mean
geography.
it's I mean aside from the mountains, it feels really similar. The size and composition of the towns, it feels appropriate. Yeah, and you know, you're most open world games take place in a city. Like the open world game that like gets kind of closest to this outside of like Deadly Premonition would be something like the spaces in between the cities in San Andreas.
San Andreas.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
What is kind of a bummer though is that you have these main roads that take you in a big circle and there's no fast travel. So you spend a lot of time driving to places and you end up kind of making and a lot of times, you know, you're doing these missions, which you talked about, which are just like, go here with the bootlegging mercenary, you know, the bootlegging bandit family has to say.
Mm-hmm.
And you just go and talk to the bootlegging bandit family. It takes a long time to get there. There's no radio or anything.
Yeah.
Other than Lily in your ear telling you the things you're not doing while
Yep.
you're doing this. And you end up with this choice of like, take the roads or try to off-road it.
Yep.
And I always off-roaded and it's cool, but you lose a lot of cars that way, which it feels realistic.
Yeah.
But you know, rolling through the grass, not seeing a rock and flipping my car, crawling out and being surrounded by zombies is a really cool emergent thing to have happen.
Uh-huh.
The first couple times.
Yeah. The rest of the times, it really makes you wish you could just jump to any outpost that you built. Like that would
Very
be
much.
that would make those far outposts much more tempting, I think.
Yeah, I add value to the idea of having those checkpoints.
They should make
I was very surprised there was not any kind of fast travel.
they should make planes out of whatever is used to make the trees in open world games.
Ooh.
Yeah.
The tricky fast travel you have in this is resetting the game, put you back at your base.
Yeah.
So if you're making return trips in this game, you're a sucker. You know, at the very least, they're all one way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah, you know, I can see you know, this is obviously a conscious choice to leave this out. Fast travel had been invented by this point. I can see that there was an intended effect to this. You know, if you're playing the game, you're playing the game. You know, they know how to simulate a certain amount of time passing. They could make that happen. But I believe that they were trying to accomplish a feeling. I just don't know that feeling was worth what they traded away for it. It would have been nice to, you know, conserve my real time and roll the dice on something bad being simulated along the way in order to, you know, get between places, because there just isn't that much to do when you're driving.
when you're driving,
Yeah.
like it's fun. It's just not fun for the entire length of the game.
Right.
You know, and it wouldn't just be you trading your real life time for this mechanical failure. It would be an incentive to shore up your defenses and stuff before you went on a trip.
Yeah.
You know, it could be it could enforce that aspect of the gameplay
Mm-hmm.
in a way that was really interesting. Like I have to go to the bandit bootlegger family's house. I have to wait until my sniper tower is done and make sure there's somebody up there with enough ammo before I go, because otherwise I'll be fucked.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the only difference would be driving versus teleporting.
Yeah.
There. So again, I kind of get it, and I think it reminds me of, you know, things that have come up in games recently, which is like additive but not additive enough.
Yeah.
You know, it is additive for a while.
Yes.
That this happens, but it does wear out its welcome for sure, that individual aspect.
Especially as it has you kind of casting about. Like as you go throughout the game, you are covering a wider part of the map. Early on, you've just got that small little mill town, you know.
Yeah. It, really bizarrely too, they still introduce settlement options late in the game. Like, well, I don't know what kind of psychopath settles their settlement at the carnival. You know, at the fairgrounds.
Yeah.
Very far away from everything and not introduced until the third act.
Yeah. My understanding is that they had plans for more story content for the third area. They just ran out of time, and it ended up being like end game zone.
Yeah, I could 100% see that.
Yeah.
Aesthetically, you know, music wise and visually, this is a budget game. Everything is serviceable.
Yeah.
Your guys kind of have the same proportion and animate similar to State of Emergency. right?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Like, yeah, they're kind of like, they have like big, they're chunky
Mm-hmm.
kind of dudes. They all have the same can animation. Really weirdly, tons of the dialogue is repeated, but with different voice actors.
Yeah, so like anybody will have something to say because it needs to count on you, playing as anybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But they all say the same thing. So like, regardless of who you're controlling when you're doing that little morale mission, they all say like, let's kill some zombies the old fashioned way. And it's the same dialogue line, but read by like 20 actors.
Yeah.
It's real bizarre. They do have individual barks for when you like tell them to go do something.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember the name of the lady, but I had a lady whose attitude was like chipper or positive or something.
Yeah.
And whenever I had her do something, she'd be like, I'm on my way and I'm excited. And like, I got into that because it'd feel the dumbest shit. She's like, I'm on my way and I'm excited.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go see what the judge has to say. I'm excited.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So this game, it started development, I believe, in 2009, under the title Class 3, which is a much worse game, a much worse name for a game, if you're asking me. And this studio, Undead Labs, was founded to make this game. Kind of the producer and the studio lead is named Jeff Strain. He had worked at Blizzard.
Perfect name.
Oh yeah, it's very good.
The Jeff Strain. That would have been a good name for this game.
It would. All the special infected are people named Jeff.
Yeah, special Jeff affected.
But he had worked previously on ArenaNet and World of Warcraft, which lines up because Undead Labs wanted to be an MMO company.
Mm-hmm. What he wanted to do was make this game where players made their own zombie survival plans and tested them. In simulation. It is hard in 2022 to overstate how much in the water this was.
Yep.
I say as somebody who got on a Christmas day and devoured the Max Brooks Zombie Survival Guide book.
Oh yeah, that's a good book.
All those things, like this was in the water.
Yeah.
And I felt, I am not too cool to say that I fell hook, line, and sinker. Like I had all these books and, was basically, there was like two ways that zombie shit went at the time, and I followed the path that was like, let's imagine how you'd practically deal with this versus the Pride and Prejudice and zombies path, or the like, let's add zombies to something silly.
Yeah, kind of a little random kind of deal. Yeah.
Any of the real life source books for this shit, I was absolutely in the pocket for.
Yeah. It was, and it was everywhere. The pithy way that I thought of describing this approach was Jeff Strain wanted to take the worst conversations you've ever had and turned it into a video game concept. Just like a work icebreaker. What would you do if there was a zombie outbreak? Well, I'd fucking shoot myself in the head. Because
yeah, Jeff. The thing is that like the Cabin in the Woods thing, those are the worst conversations you've ever had. But in 2013,
oh yeah,
they were good conversations. Like if it's a work icebreaker, like it sucks because we weren't all like bleak pilled, at the time. So we wouldn't say we shoot each other in the head, but it'd be awkward. Back then, though, I remember having those conversations with people, and it was real fun. Like. It's probably the closest to Clerks I ever was in real life. Like,
it's pretty close,
which is embarrassing now, but just being like, oh yeah, I think I would try this.
Yeah.
And it was not just like, it was all over internet. I remember when I first joined the Something Awful forums, how we met to buy a computer. That was like a meme for Something Awful people.
Yeah.
There was that whole "Are You Protected" thing, which was about zombie survival plans.
No, "Are You Protected" was about protecting yourself against the stair pusher, the pusher robot.
I thought that not having it was you had stairs in your house because you were protected against zombies because you had a second floor.
No, it was all about the pusher, pusher bots. I
don't know. I feel like I think I might be confusing one thing with another. There was definitely do you have a second floor thing that was about
being
prepared for a zombie.
It may have migrated. I never heard or saw that use, but yeah. I'm not saying you're wrong. I just I have that ICQ conversation committed to memory pretty much.
Yeah. I will do some research.
Okay.
Just for curiosity, not to prove anything. I'm just like, I want to know.
Yep.
So
yeah. But no, and like those conversations, they ultimately broke down to being like, like wargaming and kind of a little bit of like like an improv, kind of deal, like just
improv role playing.
Yeah, throwing curveballs, like, oh yeah, I would get stockpile as many bags of like rice and stuff as I can, and and move out to the country. Well, it's like, oh, what happens if you get stranded? If you're in a populated area, you can call for help. Help more. Just poking holes in each other's ideas.
Yeah. It was a little intellectual exercise with an absolutely lowercase I.
It was about as intellectual as those like the philosophy of the Simpsons books.
Yes, yeah, we all did it. Again, you're not too cool for this.
Yeah.
We all fucking did it.
Yep.
And they sold things to us.
Yep.
And we bought them.
Yeah.
So this game that they did make was a prototype for something they envisioned as a zombie survival MMO with co-op multiplayer. This was eventually cut from the game.
Mm-hmm.
You do get the sense a lot of stuff was cut from this.
Mm-hmm.
They got the simulation running and then kind of had to stop.
Yeah. This was console exclusive to Xbox Live Arcade. It came out there first several months before it even came out to PC. And it was a huge success on that platform. It sold 250,000 copies in 2 days. So 250,000 on that kind of limited marketplace is a huge deal.
Yeah. The release that came to Windows and Xbox, there was an enhanced re-release that came to Windows and Xbox One in 2015. Better visuals, some new equipment, some new characters, some bug fixes and stuff. I had the original version of this, so I did not play that, but apparently they're pretty similar.
Yeah, they're pretty similar. I did the Year One Survival Edition, that upgraded re-release, mostly because I wanted to play this on the Xbox in my living room, and that's the one that's on Game Pass.
There are 2 DLCs I have not played. For this. The first one is called Breakdown. This is a sandbox mode where you survive in an RV and you survive in a tough town until it's time to move on. And then you move to another instance of that town and it's tougher.
Yep.
You're still going to the same map over and over. It's just getting more and more harsh. And this seems really interesting. You have to choose who you can take with you.
Yeah.
So you build up a crew and then you have to choose the most valuable ones with the implication that you're leaving the other ones behind.
Yeah.
This seems cool to me, like getting rid of the story missions and just doing the simulation stuff, which is pretty strong.
Yeah. Just leaning into the strength of the game. That is the most attractive one. There is Lifeline, which is a bigger DLC. It adds a new story and a new map. And it is mostly about what the military did during the outbreak.
Yes. This has new kinds of missions in it where there are a lot of defense missions where there are VIPs, like high value civilians that you are sent to protect. And you are meant to go there and hold off hordes of zombies. Yeah. It's apparently very tough. I have also not played this.
Same.
So no notes. State of Decay 2 came out for Xbox One and PC in 2018. This was a really highly anticipated title for me, and it got very lukewarm reviews. All I remember was like the scuttlebutt was it was shit. And then I was like, I asked around, I'm like, hey, State of Decay 1 is still real fun. Why do people hate State of Decay 2? And a lot of people were like, oh, it just needed, it's just gamer shit. Like it wasn't perfect day out, right out of the box. So everyone was upset in a consumer rights way. They patched a lot of it and it works fine now. And it's cool.
I'm real tempted. I want to stream it, actually. I thought about starting it last weekend, but I didn't. I wanted this episode to come out. First before I did it. I'm real curious because, like I said, it's my understanding that leans more, it builds up the sim side in addition to having that co-op. And the person that I know who played it and really enjoyed it was David on the level. Like he's talked real sugar about it. So I'm curious, and that is kind of bumped toward the top of my list here.
I really want to play that co-op. The thing that I've found that is closest to that feeling that I've tried is playing Project Zomboid.
Okay.
Co-op, which is a cool game that is really simmy and really hard.
Yeah.
It has that survival-esque like Rust angle to it for being an overhead game, and that's a little bit too much for me. If this straddles the difference between State of Decay 1 and Project Zomboid and is co-op, this is a dream game for me that I need to get for me and Derek, so we can hey, you go over here, cover me with a sniper rifle while I scavenge for supplies we need. Which for I don't know what it is, but other than like breaking into houses and X-Men Tactics is the coolest fucking thing I can think of in a video game. It just sounds so cool. I do not know why.
I agree that it sounds cool.
Very good shit. And they're making a State of Decay 3.
They are.
Yeah. Good for them.
Good.
I'll catch up.
I'll catch up with you eventually. That doesn't have a release date yet. I know that they've shown some odds and ends of it. I'm curious to see which direction they go. And I like that the studio that like makes interesting and intricate yet still modest products can still exist and just like steadily push these things out. I don't know. There's something about the scope of this game that is super endearing to me.
Oh yeah, this is a B game.
Yes,
it's borderline on an indie, but it was big enough, has a big enough success.
Yeah,
that it did that, and we all bemoan the lack of a B game.
It is about as indie as something published by Microsoft can get.
Yeah, true. So that's gonna be it for this generalities portion. If you're hearing this, you are on the public feed. If you'd like to hear the full episode and all of our other premium episodes, you can join us at patreon.com/Duckfeed.tv. $5 a month gets you all of them.
Yeah, and access to whole other shows like Unfilmable, our show about horror movies, our premium episodes of Abject Suffering, and especially relevant with Elden Ring coming out, Bonfireside Chat. That is where those episodes are going to be distributed. We feel like we have put in an awful lot to make that a worthwhile prospect for you. So yeah, patreon.com/duckfeedtv.
Yeah. We think it's good value.
Yeah. If you're hearing this on the feed, I believe it is just about too late. The deadline for responses is always the 15th of every month. If you have thoughts about March's games, which are, and this has actually changed, March's games are going to be Inscription. We had initially planned on doing Aliens versus Predator 2 for the PC, but that didn't end up running very well on Gary's machine. So we have actually switched over to Ultimate NES Remix for the 3DS, and boy, am I having fun with that.
Yep, I started it last night. It's hard to chug, but it's real fun.
Yeah.
And it's going to be really interesting. Like the idea of, one, like how Nintendo never lets anything go. Like all parts of this ended up in, or a lot of parts of this ended up in other stuff.
Yeah.
And then two, the idea of a developer looking at how a video game can be broken down into its simplest like verbs and executions is really neat.
Yeah. And the way that they develop difficulty by kind of training you to play the game in a different way is I think really worth talking about.
It's cool.
Yeah. So it's Inscription, Ultimate NES Remix. The third one is King's Bounty, specifically the Genesis version. That's a real cool game as well. Then we're wrapping up the month with a premium episode about Until Dawn. It's a good month.
Yeah, great month. And we appreciate you. Tune in.
Please do.